Hello, beautiful. You've currently absorbed so much truth. White, blue, no problem. You now know the proper cards to put in your deck, which if you're playing Constructed is one of 4. It's now time to investigate black and red. Then we'll take another break, and then we'll do green and gold and artefacto. Should be another 4 to 5 hours of me talking non-stop, drinking water, dropping bombs of Tuwoof. First card is the Bastion of Remembrance. 2 and a black, an enchantment. When Bastion of Remembrance enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I really worry that this is going to make Rakdos Sacrifos decks incredible. Wow. Holy shit. What a disappointment to see this printed, huh? I would give this a 3 or 4 out of 5 in Constructed. I mean, there is a lot of enchantment hate. This is not a legendary enchantment. It is 3. It makes a creature that can block. It looks great. It looks great. We already see that Mayhem Devil is frightening. This feels like something in the realm of a Mayhem Devil. Mayhem Devil can obviously ping all sorts of stuff, but it is notable that this is whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. There's actually going to need to probably be more card draw in those decks for this to be able to function well, because it's a do-nothing card by itself. You could actually just go black-white aristocrats. This is a fucking good card, man. This is really, really good. For you who are curious why I'm saying this is so good, there are already decks that focus heavily on sacrificing your own junk, and upon sacrificing your own junk, you just slowly pick off and kill off somebody. Just 1 ping at a time. The most notable is the Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Cauldron. And you can just look those up. Not Witch's Cauldron, Witch's Oven. And you just look this up, and the combo just ping, 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 ping goes off. With Bastion of Remembrance and a Midnight Reaper and Priest of the Forgotten Gods and the Cats and the Gutter Bones and what's the name of it? Treacherous Blessing. The draw 3 cards, and each time you cast a spell, you lose a life. This regains you the life. Yeah, I can see a lot. Now, what do I think about this in Limited? I'd actually give it like a 3 out of 5 in Limited. Historically, the ping you for a little bit each turn, little ping pong, over time, can actually have some good value. Uh-oh, listen. There's a cat playing with a little bag. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, yeah. All right, back to talking about all things truth. This is a card that I'm terrified to play against in Constructed. This is going to drive me insane. All right. Blitz Leech. That's a tough challenge on the tongue. A 5 and a black flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Remove all counters from that creature. Wow. Remove all the counters, huh? This is... Ooh, I love this shit, like, a lot. I really like this card in Limited. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 in Limited. This is an incredible card in Limited. The reason it's incredible is, think of this as a 6 mana, kill a big thing, kill a small thing. This is basically how to think of it in Limited. you get to play it, and if there's like a 6/5, you get to block that with the Blitz Leech, and then you make something else -2/-2. In Constructed, 0 out of 5. Horrible in Constructed. A 6-mana... I mean, just cast a 2-mana murder a creature. Done. Easy. You want to get a 2-for-1? Play white. Get Planar Cleansing. Get Kaya's Wrath. Get Ritual of Soot, man. Yeah, 6 mana, kill a creature, kill another creature, and limited is really good. This has some fringe potential to do a non-zero amount of stuff in Constructed, like, oh, you have a Hydroid Krasis, it's a 12/12. I remove all the counters from it so it dies! Again, just run a spell that kills a creature and you don't have to worry about it. Absolute staggering poo-poo in Constructed, but very, very good in Limited. Very good. It can't kill 2 creatures. It can kill 2 creatures, dang it. It can. Because when it enters a battlefield, you kill a creature with -2/-2, right? You kill that. Let's say you have a 3/2, you kill that. You then use the Blitz Leech to block another creature. So it deals 5 damage. That's how you can kill 2. And Blight Breath Catableplas was a pretty good card, so Blitz Leech is also good. Blood Curdle. 3 and a black. Destroy target creature. Put a menace counter on target creature you control. Fucking 5! 5! 5! Destroying at instant speed, very, very positive in Limited. Putting a menace counter on a creature you control, very positive. Very positive. Constructed. Maybe a 1. Yeah, I'd give it a 1! You have 2 mana removals. You have 3 mana removals that can also hit planeswalkers. You can have planeswalker. This only destroys creatures. If your opponent's running, say, a planeswalker deck and you have blood curdle, then your toes are going to curdle in pain and regret because you don't have any legal fucking targets. The only creatures that you are running in Constructed need to be good without menace. So giving them menace is nice. Certainly it is. But destroying just a creature for 4, I mean, that's so expensive. You need to be destroying creatures and planeswalkers. For 3 is the current thing. Oh, and Unclear Nuclear says, what's the difference between Constructed and Limited? Sorry, new to Magic. No problem. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to a game. Okay, let me actually just say one of the things that I love most about Magic when compared to other games. You can take really shitty ideas and really difficult to execute things that when you actually do execute them, it's amazing. Garbage jank is garbage due to its inconsistency and unreliability, not because of its power. So, for instance, I was running some deck where I was trying to summon 24/4 angels in one turn. Very hard to do, but when I get it, oh, casting Palaka Worms to become huge. Oh, so good. So the different formats are limited. Limited means I give you packs, you open them up, and you build a deck. Sometimes this is built through a draft. Sometimes you just receive 6 packs, and you can only use those packs. That's what limited means. Limited means you open the packs and build the deck right now. Constructed means I have all my cards, and I'm looking through my library of hundreds and thousands of cards to find the right assemblage to construct into a deck. So you have much more control over the decks that you build in Constructed, as do your opponents, and you have far less control, and you're kind of trying to work with what you've opened in Limited. And so, for instance, there are way more creatures that exist in Magic than spells. And so, things that destroy creatures are very good in Limited, because you know if someone's opening packs, and they will only be... Or this has a higher guarantee of creatures. But in Constructed, people build creatureless decks all the time. So this could potentially suck in Constructed, for instance. So, 1 out of 5, 0 out of 5 in constructed. I'd probably give a 0 in constructed. I mean, there's just so many other good cards that kill shit. Boot Nipper. Boot Nipper. 1 and a black for a beast. Boot Nipper. Enters the battlefield with your choice of a death touch counter or a lifelink counter. This is a nice little card. This is a nice little card. It's fun to say. Anything that is close to the word nipple is fun to say, certainly. But in terms of raw power, a 0 out of 1 million in constructed. But in terms of limited, having a 2/1 Death Toucher can often be a very nice delay card. If you have some black for some removal and a Boot Nipper is an early delay card, perfecto. Bushmeat Poacher. Titter, titter, titter. Oh my god. No joke needs to be said. We all thought it. Once upon a time, there was someone who worked in the writing department at Wizards of the Coast, and that person said, no, trust me. We will want to name the card Bushmeat Poacher. All right. Bushmeat Poacher. Okay. Bushmeat. Bushmeat is actually a sort of composite word I'd never thought about. Now that I have, I will never be able to hear either of those words individually without thinking of the whole. Nadoru says Bushmeat is a real thing, though. But again, Nadoru, know your audience. I watch anime, play video games, and enjoy pulpy garbage fiction, okay? This is what I consume. So when you say bushmeat to me, I don't tap into my deep knowledge of anthropology or some shit and try to recall the cultures and civilizations that have used it and go, oh, jolly good resonance. I'm like, I know what bush and meat mean when I'm trying to make jokes late at night. You know what I'm talking about? All right, I'm sorry. I'm a child. I'm 33, but I'm absolutely baby-minded. Everyone, get out your titters now. It's fine. Get out your boot titters. Well, I'm never going to forget this card, although its stat line and utility is forgettable. 3 and a black for a human soldier, and it's 2/4. Not a great stat line. It's okay. Sack a creature, gain life, and draw a card. This is kind of like a black cycling effect. It's a way to, maybe you had that 0/5 turtle, you play it, it's done its thing, and you want something good. This is far, 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 far too expensive for any constructed deck. 0 out of 5 constructed. I mean, hell, the Woe Strider can sack for free. This does let you draw, but I mean, it's 4. I mean, all the sacrifice decks are like 3 mana and down. So I don't see this being run in constructed. 0 out of 5 constructed. But in limited, maybe a 2, maybe a 1. Call of the Death Dweller. Oh, this art. Oh, fuck yeah, Bloodborne was a great game. 2 and a black. Return up to 2 target creature cards with a total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a Death Touch counter on them, then put a Menace counter on either of them. What? Okay, so put a Death Touch counter on either of them. Let's dig into the word either. Okay? I believe it's put it on one dude or the other dude. I believe it's put on one dude or the other dude, and then put a menace counter on one dude or the other dude. So you could have a Death Toucher and a Menacer, or you could have a Death Toucher and, like, a Death Touch Menacer. Yeah. So you can put one on a dude or split it across the other dude. Okay, let me tell you a story of the Mayhem Devil with Death Touch. It killed it it's all dead. How would this card interact with an escape card like Croxa? Great question, Iceman. So what would happen is it would be returned to the battlefield. Croxa would trigger the enter the battlefield effect of make the enemy discard and maybe deal damage if they don't disco a non-land. But because it was not cast for its escape cost, it would then be sacrificed again. Okay, so this could do some shit in constructed. Here's one of the reasons why I kind of like maybe maybe two copies in a sacrifice deck. There are some really nice 3-mana cards. Mayhem Devil, Midnight Reaper, Woe Strider. The ability to just get that back again is nice. I would give it like a 2 or a 3 out of 5 constructed. If it weren't for the fact that there were also other good 3-mana targets and a lot of good combo 1 and 2-mana creatures in the graveyard, I would not rate this as highly. Just giving the Mayhem Devil Death Touch. Just giving the Mayhem Devil Death Touch sounds great, but you would have to play it, have it die, and then have this in the hand, and then have more sacrifice targets. So that's a lot when just thinking about the Mayhem Devil. There are really, this is actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I give this a 3 in constructed. I give this a 3. There is a lot of black-white juicy shit that you could do with a lot of 1 and 2 mana things like Cruel Celebrant, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Grimble Fuckface, I don't remember what his name is, the 2/1 that comes in tap, Anger Bones, Grimbone, Death Boy, what's his name? The 2/1 that comes in tapped. The 2/1 that comes in tapped, and when you deal combat damage, Gutter Bones, that's right. I got there eventually, you know. I felt as though I was orbiting around the name. I was a satellite, and I was scanning the planet, and I was like, I know there's a fucking planet somewhere around here. Oh, yes. Bone Friend from the gutter. Yeah, this feels like a 3. This feels like it would be good in Orzhov Aristocrats, and it feels like it would have some value in Rakdos Aristocrats. Okay, we haven't even talked about limited. Cavern Whisperer, 4 and a black for a 4/4 with menace. And when this creature dies, each opponent discards a card. Oh, I love it! I love it. Oh, what a tickler this one is, the Cavern Whisperer. Oh, yeah, that art is actually fantastic. Look at the detail. Dude, the color of green there is really nice. Ooh. This is a good guy. That's great. We can give a friend menace, and when it dies, it discard. This is great. Oh, whenever the creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. I don't know how to read words! Oh my god, I love it. A 4/4 that makes disc. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4. In limited. This is 4 in limited. In constructed, 0. 0 in constructed. This is terrible in constructed. I increasingly feel like I'm wrong about these mutate creatures. I feel like I'm increasingly wrong about these mutate creatures, but I don't care. I love saying 0. It makes me feel powerful. Judgmentalism of media is the... Judgment of media is the high for the disempowered, huh? Took a lot of work to come up with the naming and the art and the mechanics of this, and I just go 0 out of 5. Oh, fuck it, I don't have to do anything. Oh, I feel so good, man. What a high. Yeah, so this feels really good and limited because we can get a menace discard creature. trying to have a target to then just discard and have menace. No, don't like it. And my reasoning is that if we're against a low on creature deck, the menace doesn't really matter. And if we're against a creature heavy deck, you know, I'm mutating just to make a 4/4 with menace and like discard a card. If we're against like a non-creature deck, the menace doesn't matter. We're just making a discard, and we're already having to have a creature. So no, 0 out of 5 constructed. Chittering Harvester, 5 and a black. Wow. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacks a creature. Fuck yeah, and it's a 4/6, 5 out of 5 limited, 0 out of 5 constructed, 5 out of 5 limited, 0 out of 5 constructed. 4/6 for 5, and the opponent sacks. Heck yeah. Heckin' F yeah. Imagine multi-mutation on this. So much sacrificing going on. I think Mutate's going to be sick and constructed. This is nice, man. You can mutate on a thing, sack. Mutate on it again, it forces another sack. Mutate on it again, forces a third sack. Corpse Churn. 1 and a black. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. You may then return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. What a fascinating little card. Huh. It's an instant. Is this maybe good in Kroxa? You know, here's the thing. My understanding of Modern is a bunch of people got together and went, oh, the graveyard? Oh, all my decks are going to be about that. Like, so things that put cards into graveyard, like Faithless Looting, was just like absolutely bullshit good. This doesn't feel like it's a good limited card because unless you have a really powerful creature that you're trying to bring back, which you could do this, maybe 1 out of 5 limited, something like that. In Constructed, it's got to do something in Constructed. We have Uro, we have Kroxa. I'd maybe give it a 2 out of 5 in Constructed. I think there's some merit. So by the way, 2 out of 5 in Limited typically means you'll probably put it in a deck, but you're not going to be fist pumping about it. 2 out of 5 in Constructed means it could probably enable something spectacular to happen in an extremely focused niche deck. Yeah, like a Corpse Churn to fill the graveyard and get a Mire Triton is a perfect example of what is tickling my bones. What's tickling my guttery bones? Yeah. Dark Bargain. 3 and a black. Instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 of them in your hand, and the others in the graveyard. Dark Bargain deals 2 damage to you. Huh. I mean, this is okay in Constructed. The format seems to be kind of slow. I can just make sure that I'm not going to get fucked, and then I can cast this at end of turn to check the 3 cards, put the best 2 in, and draw, and then I get a little bit of pain. I think it's like 3 out of 5 in Limited. 3 out of 5 in Limited. 0 out of 5 in Constructed. Are you nuts? What, are you going to put a Dark Bargain in your deck? What is the matter with you? Just run blue and draw cards like a real adult. Or play red and be like, I exile my cards to play them, you lunatic. Alright, Dark Bargain seems... I don't know, anytime something goes in the graveyard, I'm just like, Kroxa? You know in Finding Nemo, where you have the seagulls that are just like, mine, mine? That's me, but with Kroxa. I see things going to the grave and I'm like, Kroxa? Kroxa? Dead weight. Oh my god. That art is just so sad. Oh my god, that little guy. Oh my god, I don't know why, but that just like... I mean, I know I've been being really goofy, but like sincerely, I look at that, I feel so sad. I mean, oh my gosh. Kev Walker just captured the shit out of the sadness of that little creature. You're not my quarry, little one. I'm after whatever comes to investigate your cries. Oh! Goodness. Well, this is a perfectly solid card in Constructed. The reason it's not like a very highly rated Constructed card is that Disfigure is in Constructed right now, which is an instant speed -2/-2. There are some fringe enchantment decks that like to have things die via enchantments. So, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5 Constructed. 3, 4 out of 5 in Limited. 2 damage tends to be fine in Limited, but not great in Limited. Like 3 and up damage. You're just like, ugh. So I'd give it like a 3, like a 4. It's fine. It's like a fine card. Dirge Bat. Yeah, it's a Dirge. 2 and a Parablack for a bat. Normally, it's a 3/3 flash flyer. Okay. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Huh. It's time to take a moment to reflect, and by that I mean I want more coffee. Zero out of 5 Constructed. Not a good card in Constructed. Bad. B-A-D-D bad. Okay? It's so expensive. It is so expensive. Not a chance in Constructed. For 6 mana, you want me to mutate, and you think a creature will be on the board to mutate in Constructed? Are you insane? Are you optimistic? Do you think your student debt will get negative interest soon? That is not how the world works in America. I guess, yeah, other countries have free. It doesn't matter. Now, the way this could work is you could end of turn Dirge Bat. And you play the Dirge Bat. And then when it comes to the next turn, after you've done an end of turn, you can like cast another mutate on the Dirge Bat. And then you all of a sudden you're sacking and triggering all this stuff. So, I mean, that is a thing. 5 out of 5 Limited. 5 out of 5 Limited. Constructed. Let me explain something to you. Murderous Rider exists. Bedevil exists. Dirge Bat doesn't need to exist then. More like Dirge Bad. Yeah, nice, Azadi. Nice, Azadi. Yeah. I did steal your joke and just say it right now because that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. I had to say it. I gave credit. I'm not Dane Cook. Actually, that's a mean thing to say. I don't know why I'm being mean. I don't know why I'm being ridiculous. All right, let's... I take it back. I apologize. That was a low blow for no reason. Okay. This happens once every card review. My buttons don't work. Durable Coilbug. 1 and a black for a 2/2. Return Durable Coilbug from your graveyard to your hand. Good in Limited. Good in Limited. Good in Limited. Very good. Very good Limited. 3 out of 5. Let's be honest, it's just a 2/2. But a recurring 2/2? is a nice bear. Constructed. Duskfang Mentor. All the black cards have like some of the most fun to say names around. 2 and a black. When Duskfang Mentor enters the battlefield, put a lifelink counter on target non-human creature you control. Swell up the lifelinks. I like this cycle of put a keyword counter on a creature and then swell them up. These are all acceptable win conditions. I'd probably give them all 3 out of 5s across the board in limited. You know what? They're all 0 out of 5. Do I need to keep saying 0 out of 5 in constructed? Do I need to keep saying 0 out of 5 in construct? Do I need to do that? Okay. You say yes. I mean, Terracon is the first one to say yes. Terracon, you got it, man. Absolutely. 0 out of 5. Don't run conditional garbage for lots of mana for low stats when you could just put in big, big things. Easy prey. Oh, 1 in a black, destroy target creature with converted mana, cost 2 or less. It's 5 out of 5 in constructed. Oh, it's 5 out of 5 in constructed. This art is so good. This is maybe one of the most clever art I've seen in some time. Scary guys sneaking up on little froggy boy. And scary guy's about to get absolutely chomped on. Destroy target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less, cycling 2. This is a 5 out of 5. This is a 5 out of 5 in constructed. This is an unbelievable card in constructed. God, it's so good. Holy shit, it's incredible. What does it hit? Essentially, all the tiny red creatures, all the tiny Rakdos creatures. It hits Kroxa. And in case you have put maybe 2 of these in your main deck, and you're up against a Planeswalker deck, you just cycle it. Hits Hydroid Krasis. Hits Vivian Lands. Not Vivian Lands, Nissa Lands. Hits tokens, that's nice, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of card, that, like, I cannot stress this enough. 2 mana spells are so much better than 3 mana spells in constructed. They are so much better than 3 mana spells in constructed. So much better. Oh my god. This is just an incredible card. Instant speed. Oh yeah, great against flash decks. Brineborn and Cutthroat can go F right the heck off. The cycling 2 is the big reason why this is just golden. I mean, this is perfectly good in limited too. I mean, I'd probably give it a slightly lower rating in limited because, you know, you're just killing a small dude, but, you know, it's removal nonetheless. I'd give it like a 4 in limited, but I mean, it's unbelievable in constructed. One of the best reasons it's good in constructed is it can remove against the decks you care about, and you can cycle it versus the decks you don't care about. All at instant speed. Extinction event. Three in black. Choose odd or even, Steven. Exile each creature with converted mana cost of the chosen value. Wow. Constructed. I'd give this a 4. That's very nice and constructed. Wow. Wow, that's really good. If you think about Rakdos and Mono Red, which are the aggro baby decks, those have a lot of odd creatures. So for instance, Bone Crusher Giant, you normally will cast on turn 2 for the 2 damage and then play on turn 3. That's 3. Anax is 3. Really the only even ones are like Runaway Steamkim and Robber of the Riches, but those are the ones that you don't really care the most about, but you can still get it. Often, if you think about some of the ramp Simic decks, Uro is odd, Risen Reef is odd, the Cavalier is odd. It's a real nice card. It does struggle a bit in a main board situation. It's sorcery speed, which is slow. Really, it's the mono red and the Rakdos I'm thinking about. Jeskai, don't think of this as being good against Jeskai. Don't think of this as a good card against Jeskai. Because technically they have like a huge amount of 5-cost things. But dude, if they could cast 2 or 3 of them, you're dead. So, it's pretty good. Yeah, this is a 4. In limited, this is a pure 5. This is just pure 5 in limited. It's a 4 mana, exile a creature, and sometimes more creatures. Just 4 mana, exile a creature is fine. It's totally fine. It also gets around hexproof, so it's great. Super great in limited. Super, super great. Thank you, Ghostaka. Gloom Pangolin. God, the black cards have the best names. Gloom Pangolin. 2 and a black for a 1/5. 0 out of 5, 0 out of 5. I mean, let's just look at the art for a moment. Oh yeah, it's nice art. 0. Grimdancer. 1 and a pair of blacks for a nightmare. Nightmare was seriously wounded, but the soul still burns. This is amazing art for a 3/3. Grimdancer enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters from among Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink. 4, that's pretty good. 3/3s for 3 are good. 3/3s for 3 with some, extra keywords is really good. I'd give it like a 4 in limited. It's very good. I like it. I mean, like Boggart Brute was a red and 2 for a 3/2 with Menace, and I liked Boggart Brute. This is nice. This is a nice ass card. It doesn't need any help. It's just good on its own. In Constructed, 0 out of 1 million. No. There is no deck in which the Grimdancer will do anything ever under any circumstance, period. No. Nada, period, no. If one of those was haste, it would be 5 out of 5 in Constructed, but black doesn't have a lot of haste. Heartless Act. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, we have our cast down back. Oh my god. Oh my god. 2 mana, instant speed, black removal. Black is back on the menu. Grixis can actually do shit again. Holy god, we did it. Oh my god, yes. Oh, I don't even care that they're about to chop the head of a cat off. Oh my god, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, fuck yeah. 5 out of 5 Constructed, 5 out of 5 Limited. Let me once again stress, 2 mana instant speed is so desirable in Constructed. Because, first of all, you can do it on turn 2, but more importantly, you can do 2 things on turn 4 if you have big stacks of 2 mana cards. So, like, if you have Thought Erasure, Heartless Act, you can maybe Thought Erasure on turn 2, do something else on turn 3, then Heartless Act, Thought Erasure on turn 4. Things like that are incredibly reliable. Now, Cast Down was destroy target non-legendary creature. Heartless Act basically just hits all creatures. It just hits all creatures. The only creature that this doesn't hit is Hydroid Krasis, effectively. Nissa lands, remove 3 counters, and they die. That's incredible. And this is just 3 counters, not even 3+1/+1 counters. So you could like remove a death touch, remove a lifelink, something like that. This is great. Wow. That's incredible. Hunted Nightmare. By the way, look at this. Look at the symmetry between the art here and the art here. I mean, that's spectacular. 1 and 2 black for a 4/5 menace. Uh-oh. When Hunted Nightmare enters the battlefield, target opponent puts a death touch counter on a creature they control. Oh! Oh! Oh my God! This card is so good! Take a moment. Listen. I need you to surround yourself with 6 to 12 mirrors. And then I need you to take a moment, sit down, and reflect. Okay? Holy shit. A 4/5 for 3 is good. A 4/5 for 3 with Menace is amazing. Now, technically your opponent can put a death touch counter on a creature they control. Let's assume your opponent has 2 creatures so that they can block the Menace, and you put a death touch counter on one of them. This will often just kill both of those dudes because it's so big. Imagine if your opponent just does not have any creatures on the forking board. God, that's so good. I mean, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 that pops on down. That's very, very scary. I mean, this is a 5 out of 5 constructed, 5 out of 5 limited. This is an incredible card. This is an incredible card. The worst case scenario for this is that your opponent casts a removal spell, kills Hunted Nightmare, and they happen to now have Death Touch on a creature, which has never really been a Bone Crusher. What type of deck would you put it in? Asks DM Keynes. This is actually very good in a Dimir control deck. This is good in basically a lot of black decks. If I am a black aggro deck, I can just go creature, Hunted Nightmare. Bam! If I wanted to be a Golgari mid-range deck, I could play this on turn 3 and then Questing Beast on turn 4. That seems really good. Mono Black Devotion-based decks seems really good. If I am a Dimir control deck, I could have Hunted Nightmares, maybe even in the sideboard. So then that way I could, like, play the Hunted Nightmare and I have a threat against Planeswalkers. God, Dimir discard is going to be very, very strong. This would be good. Okay, I cannot even stress enough the 3 mana slot for black, blue, black, green, a lot of different decks with black in there. The 3 mana slot sucked. It just sucked. You didn't feel like you had anything that good, except for like a Murderous Rider, but you didn't have anything proactive. Like, this is awesome. Holy shit. 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. I don't even want to go to the next card. Look at how good the Hunted Nightmare is. Woo! Insatiable Hemophage. God, this art is beautiful. 3 and a black for a 3/3 Death Touch. When it mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. 0 out of 5 constructed. You know, it's a little ping ponger. It's okay. It's okay. It's a 2 out of 5. It's like a card that's like fine limited. It's like a 3/3 for 4 that sometimes can just do ping pong, and there we go. Lurking Deadeye. Ah, look at the size of those arrows. Because remember, in the lore of Ikoria, you have the humans and the beasts. You have the huge arrows. 3 and a black for a 4/2 flash. When lurking deadeye enters the battlefield, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Zero out of 5, 1 out of 5, 0 out of 5, maybe 0 out of 5, 3 out of 5. A lot of times, this is a play a 4/2 and block something with 4, and it dies. It's very difficult to get this effect to trigger that much. Maybe you attack and the opponent eats one of your creatures, and then you play Lurking Deadeye, and it dies. So it's basically a way to kill a creature. It's like a removal spell, and so it's 3 out of 5 as a result. Maybe even 4 out of 5, but even then, I mean, it's really the 4/2 stat line is the reason I'm going, flash 4/2, you know, you play it, you block, you know. This is okay. Yeah, I'd give it a 3 or 4. What if your opponent attacks and you chump? Yeah, same thing. Yeah, like, the 3 situations is, let's say I have a 1/1. I can attack, my opponent blocks, and then I play a Lurking Deadeye and kill it. Or my opponent attacks and I block with the 1/1, and then I play a Lurking Deadeye and kill the thing. Or my opponent attacks on an empty board, I play a Lurking Deadeye and block it. Those are like 90+% of the cases. Occasionally I'll have a way to like ping this guy for 1, then my opponent attacks, then I block with the Lurking Deadeye, then I kill this, and I kill that. So it's mostly just a 1-for-1 removal, so it's pretty good. Of a 1 memory leak. 2 and a black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card and get from player's graveyard or hand and exile it, cycling 1. Interesting. This is an agonizing remorse with cycling. How the hell does that work? It's not a 0 in constructed. What do we think about it in limited? I'd probably say it's 4 out of 5 in limited. Because it's basically a removal card. Because you get to pick a non-land. It hits everything. And if you draw it when everything's empty, no big deal. You can just cycle it. So I'd definitely give it a 4 out of 5 in limited. In constructed, I think I have to give it maybe like a 2. I'd give it like a 2. Yeah, so I'd say 4 out of 5 limited. 2 out of 5 constructed is kind of where I'm at. The reason why I think it's so good in limited, like Agonizing Remorse could sometimes feel amazing in limited, sometimes feel terrible. The cycling just fixes the problem of drawing it when your opponent's hand is empty. So, yeah, I think this is a nice little card. I think maybe what makes sense is like if I have 4 Agonizing Remorses main, I could put in like 4 Memory Leaks in the main or something like that, and just try to nooka wooka woo to hand. You know, if I am like a black and non-blue deck, if you have Thought Erasures, you're going to be running. You have too many discard effects at that point. Mutual Destruction. This spell has flash as long as you control permanent with flash. As an additional casting cost, sack a creature, destroy a creature. So it's kind of like a Bone Splinters without Undying. Huh. 0 out of 5 constructed. Not a chance. 1 out of 5 limited. 2 out of 5 limited. 1 out of 5 limited. I don't like sacrificing my creatures. I do not like sacrificing my creatures ever. Wait, would this actually be good in Rakdos? Sack? No, this totally sucks in Rakdos because you just claim the firstborn and eat it. Yeah, it doesn't seem good. 0 out of 5 constructed, 1 out of 5 limited. Mythos of Nethroi. 2 and a black. Destroy target non-land permanent. If it's a creature, destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature, or if green-white was spent to cast this spell. So basically, it's a 3 mana destroy a creature, or 3 mana destroy any non-land permanent if you have the Mixie mana. Right? So I could get planeswalkers, I could get enchantments, I could get artifacts. Ooh, okay, here is how I'm having difficulty evaluating Mythos of Nethroi. I reckon it's only good in Abzan, okay? Let's agree on that. It's only good if you're running green, white, black. Abzan sucks enormously right now. It stinkers. Oh my god, does it stinker. So, maybe this is like a 4 out of 5 card. Maybe it's like a 4 out of 5 card, but Abzan sucks so much that it does not matter. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 in Constructed, and I'll give it a 5 out of 5 in Limited. All the arts of the Mythos are amazing. I think, yeah, I mean, there are cards that are like, if Abzan's good, then this is good. And I think it does actually fill a pretty critical hole in Abzan, which is Abzan. Abzan as a color, it's black, green, white. So you have access to really good removal because you have like all the enchantment artifact from green, all the creature and planeswalker from black, and all the board sweeping from white, right? You have like all these flexible thingies, but you tend to struggle on card draw. And if you were trying to focus more on creatures, green obviously has really good creatures, and you might consider like just cutting one of the colors and kind of going big in there. There's a lot of interesting techie cards in Abzan. I don't know. Abzan feels really weird right now. Feels really. I don't really know how to construct an Abzan deck. Every Abzan deck I've ever made, I'm just like, the card quality is so high, wow! And then I play it, and then I just lose because I'm just not quite as fast as the aggro decks, and I can't put on quite as much pressure as the aggro decks. Yeah, but like this helps a ton, because one of the problems that you have in Abzan is you have something that feels like really good removal in different circumstances. This covers all the circumstances in one card, because it sucks when you have your really good planeswalker removal and then they play an enchantment. And then you have your enchantment removal and they play a planeswalker, one of those sorts of things. Assassin's Trophy feels amazing as always. I love Assassin's Trophy. That's still maybe my favorite card in Standard. I love that card so freaking much. So like Mythos of Nethroi and Assassin's Trophy could feel really, really good. I don't know. Let's wait till we get to the gold cards. Nightsquad Commando. By the way, I'm taking a long time with black. I guess I just didn't like the blue cards very much. Black looks real nice, though. Nightsquad Commando. 2 and a black. When Nightsquad Commando enters the battlefield, if you attacked this turn, create a human. 0 out of 5 constructed. 0 out of 5 constructed. In Limited, 3 out of 5. It's an above-average card. I'm happy to have it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Serrated Scorpion. 1 black. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. 1 out of 5 limited, 0 out of 5 constructed. I mean, maybe there's some weird nonsense Rakdos-Sakdos deck. But like 1, 2 for 1. Yeah, I don't really like it. It would feel good with Death Touch. Yeah, 0 out of 5 constructed, 1 out of 5 limited. Don't like it. I don't really like a lot of 1-mana cards when it comes to Limited, unless you have like a ton of build-arounds. I haven't seen a lot of build-arounds and support for aggro and black outside of a couple of just insanely good cards. Suffocating Fumes. 2 and a black. Creatures your opponent control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Sideboard against that. Mono red, maybe. 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. I'm going to give it 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. Cycling is an A+, hooray plus card. Terracon says that's a really bad Clarion, right? Sort of. Clarion requires different colors and 2 different colors. This only requires 1, and it has cycling, and it's nice for black. I would be hard-pressed to find a situation in which I would run this instead of Cry the Carnarium. But I think Cry the Carnarium is going to rotate eventually, so maybe something. I don't know. Instant speed is also very relevant. Yeah, so 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. Not. I mean, I can see how it would do stuff, but the stuff is a sucker. Unbreakable Bond. Oh, 4 and a black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. Reanimation commencing. Reanimation commencing. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Let me tell you. Wouldn't it be cool to bring some big boys back from the dead? Ooh. Yeah, I mean, this is... I'm going to call it an acceptable limited card. You have a good creature, you bring it back, you gain some life. It's fine. In Constructed, very close to 0. I'm going to give it my first ever 0.5 out of 5. This is a very sweet art. I've never seen a black card with such darling art in it before. This is so cute. So cute. Boop. Unexpected Fangs. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh, 5 out of 5 for concept. Unexpected Fangs. That's like I accidentally ran into an unexpected doorknob. Like, yeah, look at this guy's digging his tooths in. 1 and a black for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter and lifelink counter on target creature. Really mediocre combat trick. 0 out of 5, 1 out of... It's not constructed playable. You know, it's a combat trick. It does something. Unlikely Aid. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Now there's a combat trick. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 in limited. I really like indestructible in general. I don't think it has a place in Constructed, but it might. Like 1 out of 5? Feels fringy. Feels very fringy. And that show got good after 9 episodes. So, you know, feels like 4 out of 5 in limited. It might even be a 5 out of 5 card in limited. I mean, it's effectively like a removal card if you have creatures, and you're probably going to have creatures. I really like this card. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5 in Constructed, because maybe there's some way to do indestructibility. Indestructible is a keyword that always piques my interest. Hypno Ben says Fringe eventually got good. I genuinely think it was after about 9 episodes. After about 9 episodes. I genuinely think it was episode 9. It sucked so much until then. But then it became good. Void Beckoner. 6 and 2 black. I love big stuff. Creature. Nightmare Horror. Death Touch. Cycling 2 and a black. When you cycle Void Beckoner, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Unplayably garbage in Constructed. Deliciously huge and limited. I would give it a 3 out of 5 in limited. And here's why. 8 mana is actually so much mana. In 8/8 is a way to win the game. We also just saw this card. Bring it back from the dead. Feels nice. So you could cycle for Death Touch and then bring it right on back with Lifelink at an earlier time, which is kind of neat. 8 mana, 8/8. It's huge. So I think it's okay. 8 is hard. 8 is certainly hard. Iridium says, why give an 8/8 Death Touch though? Because keyword counters are a theme of the set. So if you give a Death Touch or Trample, it deals 1 damage to all blockers, and then all the rest of the trample damage goes through. And also, if for whatever reason you have something that is like a damage reduction ability, where this becomes a 1/8, it still kills. I mean, there are fringy aspects. Whisper Squad. Search your library for a card named Whisper Squad, put into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Whoa! That's cool. I mean, this feels like a 2 out of 5 in limited. Yeah, I can make my 1/1s get 1/1s. You know, like who cares? Like what are you gonna do? Oh my god, my opponent went from 1/1 to 4 1/1s, and cannot attack with him for the remainder of the game. I mean, maybe if there's some more sacrifice opportunities. I need more water. Maybe if there's more sacrifice opportunities. I don't know. How does this work when it's mutated? It can't mutate. It's a human. So, I don't know. Does it work in Constructed? I really don't know, man. Little dirtily 1/1s with upsides have shown up since the dawn of time in Constructed quality decks. It could actually... I mean, this is the sort of thing where there's like a legacy player watching who's like, it's completely broken in my humans deck. And some shit. So, I don't know. 1 out of 5 in Constructed, 2 out of 5 limited, 1 out of 5 in limited. You know what? 1s across the board. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Zagoth Mamba. Black cards have the best names in this set for sure. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Now there's a 1-drop right there. Holy crap, Zagoth Mamba. Oh yeah, baby. Oh hell yeah. This Zagoth Mamba is a 5 out of 5 out of 5 in limited. This is... You want to mutate something? Mutate this. I mean, if you have Zagoth Mamba and 3 mutate cards, it is bomb as heck. That's nice. That's the start of the mutation, baby. Does this kill Indestructible? You bet one of your butt cheeks it does, LaRouche Panda. Guess what? You got 3 butt cheeks. Too bad. You got 2 cracks now. Zagoth Mamba is a nice card. What's this? What's this? There's red cards in the air. What's this? There's volleys everywhere. What's this? I'm gonna go get more fluids. Fluid refill. Stay here. Dun, 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 dun. If you're talking as much as I'm talking today, you got to get something to get your throat hydrated. Ah. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, it's tasty. It's time to learn the truth about red with Day 9's card review on Blazing Volley. A single red sorcery. Blazing Volley deals 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. Limited 1 or 0 out of 5. Constructed. Wow. This is another... Ooh, huh. Okay, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, but remember, 2 out of 5 in Constructed means that it's either an enabler or has very niche uses that are very strong. Torbran with this would deal 3 damage to each creature your opponent controls. So maybe if I'm up against a... you wouldn't run it in mono red versus mono red, because in mono red you have red cap melees, so you would want to be blowing those things up. Mono white is probably going to be quite strong. Mono white weenie, so this would be good here. Yeah, I mean, like, I can still see this working in red, you know, or red versus red. Like, you play turn 1, your opponent plays a Fervent Champion. Turn 2, they play a Runaway Steamkin, and then you Blazing Volley in 2 for 1. Okay, so Blazing Volley is... I think this is definitely a constructed-ish card. I mean, limited, what are you going to deal? 1 damage to their giant mutated creature? Absolutely not in a million years. 0 out of 5, or limited. 2 out of 5 constructed, though. Does seem good. Blister Spit Gremlin. A red for a 1/1 that you can pay 1 and tap to deal damage to the opponents. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap Blister Spit Gremlin? 5 out of 5 limited. Holy crap. Wow. 5 out of 5. This is great. Wow, that's amazing. What do we think about this one in Constructed? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe a 1. Maybe. Here's the thing. Recurring damage to the opponent's face is fantastic in Limited. I mean, it only costs 1 in Limited. That's like pretty dang cheap. And we can untap it and it can deal more damage. So this can be like a win condition where you clog the board up and then you're just like... Pew, 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 pew. I'm 100% certain that this is going to wind up hilariously winning a ton of Limited games for people. I mean, maybe I should be more reasonable and call it a 4 out of 5 in Limited, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a 1/1. It can get picked off super easily. A lot of potential with Blister Spit Gremlin. A lot of potential. What do we think about Red Burn? Mono red with creatures and Anax is so strong right now that I have trouble evaluating the Burny stuff, so whatever. 1 out of 5 constructed. You figure it out. I'm not going to figure it out. Blitz of the thunder-raptor. 1 in a red for a lot of text. Instant. Blitz of the thunder-raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. Whoa. Wow. Holy fuck. Blitz of the thunder-raptor is a very nice 2 of ish in Is It. You need to fill up the graveyard for it to do anything. So often on turn 2, this is deal 0 or deal 1 damage. So you need to be running a lot of 1 mana things like Opt. In Limited, I would give this a 2 out of 5. You'd have to make sure that you didn't shoot yourself in the foot with this, because it's very easy to have 0 to 2 things in the graveyard in Limited that are instant sorceries. So I would give this a... I'd give this a 2 out of 5 in Limited and a 3 out of 5 in Constructed. In Constructed, you'll recall Beacon Bolt often was run as a 1 of, and Beacon Bolt was a blue, a red, and 1, and you could cast it twice. You could cast it from the hand, and then you could recast it from the graveyard with the Jumpstart ability. And Beacon Bolt was creature only as well, so this has some similar feelings to a Beacon Bolt. I like Beacon Bolt more because of the Jumpstart. 3 out of 5, Constructed 2 out of 5. Interesting. Cathartic Reunion. 1 and a red. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards. There are so many ways to fill your graveyard. This card works so well with this card. This card, this card, this card, this card. I'm so glad the synergies are based on alphabetization. This is a great looking card in Constructed. Maybe a 3 out of 5. This is a good way to get Phoenixes in the graveyard. Oh my god, is it? It's so great. Wow. I now want to do some sort of Grixis Reanimator nonsense, dummy stuff, man. This is so good. This is really great. This is really, really great. Okay. Okay. Maybe 3 or 4 out of 5 in Constructed even. This is amazing. Oh my god, you guys are amazing. This is the same duo from the Capture Sphere art. Look at this. No, my friends! Ah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. That's so cool. Damn, Wizards kills it. They crush it. They murder it. They bake it into a pie. This is... What do I think about this in Limited, though? 0. 1 or 0. 1 or 0. I don't like redrawing cards. Maybe a 1. No, maybe a 1. Maybe a... Maybe a 1. A 1. A 1. If I'm getting Landos and I have a Cathartic Reunion, I can chuck 2 Landos and draw 3 Dandos. Clorsh of the Titans. 3 and a pair of reds. Target creature fights another target creature. Why is it 5? Because I can make 2 enemies fight each other. Took me a second to figure it out. 2 enemies can fight each other. That's why it's good. Typically, one of my creatures fights one of your creatures is 1 green. That card is called Prey Upon. Is it called Prey Upon? I hope it's called Prey Upon. So what's interesting is that this is not really useful as one of my guys fights one of your guys. Not really. It's a little more useful if there are 2 equally sized bozos that can clear each other out. 5 out of 5, obviously 5 out of 5 in Limited, because even if you just have 2 of the enemies fight and 1 cracks into the other, you've removed a creature. So good. What do I think, though, about Constructed? By the way, Thrash Threat is ideal damage. Thrash Threat is fight, isn't it? I don't remember. I just don't remember what Thrash Threat does. I just don't remember. Yeah. felt like it was deal damage, but maybe I don't remember it. 5 out of 5 constructed, probably 0 out of 5. And limited, probably 0 out of 5, probably 0 out of 5. Big ol' fat 0. Big ol' nope out of 10. Has some value against Jeskai Fires. It's the only thing I can think where things typically have all around the same health. So whatever. Boop. Cloud Piercer. Ooh, I have seen this one. This is nice. 4 and a red for a 5/4. Whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. It's a solid little creature cardcher. Solid little creature cardcher. You know, it's not good, but it's solid. It's like 3 out of 5. You know, it's a 5/4 with reach, which is actually quite nice. Mutate to give a thing reach and to kind of help filter. It's okay. 0 out of 5 constructed. I hate these mutate cards in constructed. Awful, awful, awful start to finish, except for that dashing octopus. Drannith Stinger. 1 in a red. Whenever you cycle another card, Drannith Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's fine. 3 out of 5. It's like a you love bears, it's a bear. This is a bear. Deals a little extra damage. You have to cycle. Boo. But I would assume that Drannith Stinger can occasionally deal 3 to 5 damage to the enemy. But better than anything, it can cycle itself. Who doesn't love a cycling bear? Uh-oh. It's a Phoenix. Everquill Phoenix. 2 and a pair of reds for a Phoenix. Flying. Whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with 1. Sacrifice Feather. Return target Phoenix card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Huh. Return target Phoenix. What Phoenixes are in standard? Great question. There's certainly the Arclight Phoenix, and then there is Phoenix of Ash. Rekindling Phoenix is not in, but I'm trying to remember any of the other garbage Phoenixes. Oh yeah, there's Chandra's Phoenix, which is like the 1/3 get big lass. This is an interesting one. First of all, a 4/4 flyer for 4. You have to cast it on a creature. Huh. And if you cast Everquill onto Everquill, you can make a whole bunch of feathers. So obviously in limited, this is going to be a 5 out of 5 because you can just recur itself. Super great, right? You mutate onto something, it becomes a 4/4 flyer, and then when that thing dies, you can just get back a 4/4 flyer. So it feels very solid in limited. Hell, just casting a 4/4 flyer for 4 is very, very good in limited. That's very, very sick. In constructed, though, I don't know. This feels like it has enough words on it to do something. I do like a 4/4 flyer for 4. Two out of 5 constructed. Yeah, moving on. I spent way too much time thinking about that puppy. Ferocious Tigorilla. Oh, yeah. 3 and a red. Ferocious Tigorilla. It's a cat ape. Enters battlefield with your choice, a trample counter or a menace counter. 4/3 with menace or 4/3 with trample. 0 out of 5 constructed. 3 out of 5 limited. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Tigorilla makes me want to give this a 5 out of 5. But you know, it's a 4/3 with menace, which I think is okay. Oh yeah. Fire Prophecy. 1 in a red. Instant. Deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card 5 out of frickin' 5 in limited. A removal, get rid of something bad, redraw something good. It's a cycle damager all at the same time. That's gas. What do we think about this in constructed? I want to give this a 1 or a 2. And here's my logic. It only hits creatures. It doesn't hit planeswalkers. It doesn't hit faces. So it has a really narrow use case. This feels like it must be sideboardable. And you might say, okay, well, let's put this in the sideboard. But then do you not run Scorching Dragonfires, which are a very valuable sideboard card, given how much on-death effect stuff there is out there right now? Yeah, I think it's a 1 out of 5. It doesn't really seem to fit any needs currently. If there are creature-heavy decks that don't run Anax, that don't have sacrifice-style effects to like get around some of this stuff, I think I'd like this more, but probably 1. Flame Spill. Oh, by the way, this says it says you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library, so you don't have to. It doesn't force it. Flame Spill. 2 in a red. Flame Spill deals 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Nice. 5 out of 5 limited. That's a great limited card. Spell Trample, man. This is a little bit horrifying, the implication that this man and his kid are about to get devoured by lava, but we saw someone taking a sword to a cat earlier, so, you know, what are you going to do? Spell Trample is interesting. Footfall Crater. A red enchant land. Enchant land has tap. Target creature gains trample and haste until end of turn, cycling 1. I think this is a constructed bomb. I think this is a constructed bomb. I think this is a constructed bomb. This is a constructed bomb. This is a constructed bomb. Isn't it? Is it not? Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. I love it. 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 Holy shit. It's an enchant. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I think some sort of Rakdos enchantment Croxa nonsense works really well with this. Step 1, we can play Croxa and just tap the land to give it haste. If I get extra Footfall Craters, say, in my opening hand, I can cycle, putting them in the graveyard. Ephemia and Timrit Calls the Dead both look for enchantments in the graveyard. So then I can exile the excess Footfall Craters, turning them into things. Holy shit. It also fills the graveyard as escape stuff. It gives haste and trample. I mean, that's just freaking ridiculous. Now, the obvious danger is, if this is in your opening hand, you have to spend a whole card to enchant a land that doesn't really do anything. That is actually enormously dangerous. Enormously dangerous. Taking up a whole card in the opening hand. Good lord. But that's why I'm interested in this Croxa style deck, because things in the graveyard, I can just Footfall Crater, dump it into the graveyard, and like actually do stuff with it. Cool. Forbidden Friendship. Oh, it's our buddies again. Oh yeah, 0 out of 5. Limited. I don't like it in limited at all. I'd rather have a creature. Forbidden Friendship. 1 and a red. Create a 1/1 red dinosaur creature token with haste and a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Zero out of 5 constructed. 0 or 1 out of 5 limited. I mean, it's a 1/1 and a 1/1. These buddies are just 1/1s, man. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I hate the implication that some wizard out there put a 1/1 dinosaur creature token in a capture sphere. Boo. Boo. Maybe in sacrifice limited decks. Well, Wolfsark, there's already Raise the Alarm, a 1 and a white, instant speed, summon a pair of unos. So, this is going to be a big ol' for me. Oh, I guess that... Oh, no, the dinosaur has haste. The other one does not. Frenzied Raptor. 2 and a red for a 4/2. 0 and 1. Frill-Scare Mentor. 2 and a red. When Frill-Scare Mentor enters the battlefield, put a menace counter on target non-human creature you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you controlled menace. I think this is like 4. I think this is actually better than the other ones. It's a 3/2 for 3. Gives menace and grows the menace creatures. There's a lot of menace in the set too. This is pretty incredible. This is pretty incroyable. Yeah, menace is way better than lifelink. You got it, Terracon. We're on the same page. So this is 0 out of 5 constructed, 4 out of 5 limited. Go for blood. Shkuji. 1 and a red. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control with a wee bit of cycling. 3 out of 5 in limited. An absolute big no-no in constructed. So you'll pretty much hear me fist pump and be like, removal 5! I have learned this lesson too many times the hard way. Prey Upon is the worst removal of all the typical removals because you're like, I'm going to have my guy fight your guy, and then they just kill your guy in response, and you've been 2 for 1. So great. I don't like it that much, but I like it a little bit. Heightened Reflexes, a red. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Put a first strike counter on it. Oh. Ooh, and the first strike stays. Yeah. I'm gonna give this a 4. Not a 5, just a 4, but I do like giving big things first strike. That seems amazing. First strike does not really wind up on big creatures. Like, take a moment and just think about how many first strike 5 power creatures can you name? You know, there's a ton of first strike 2 power creatures. Like Heightened Reflexes. Yeah, first strike being able to be permanent feels nice. And so often you'll just 1 for 1, just kill a thing, and then you have a really significant threat. I really like this. Constructed, I don't know, first strike does not feel that amazing as some technique to build around in constructed. So I'm going to give it a 0. I'm going to give it a 0. What about Feather? What about him? 0. Lava Serpent, 5 and a red for a 5/5 haste. Hey. By the way, that noise was gross. That grossed even me out. A 6 mana 5/5 haster is actually decent in limited. It's actually decent in limited. I'd give it like a 3. You know, it's something to kind of close the game out and be like, surprise, I'm hasting you. It's better than just a vanilla bear, though I would put as like a bear with a bit of upside, which I'd put as like a 2 out of 5. Constructed, there are so many hasters that are better, and I mean, come on, 6 mana. I mean, hell, just play Pelakronos and then haste out Drakoseth. Woo, 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 woo. 0 in constructed. Never ever want to see constructed again. Luca, Coppercoat Outcast. 3 and a pair of reds. Luca has 5 loyalty. That's a good starting amount. +1. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. A little bit of card draw. So this is for like a creature-based red deck. -2. Exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Oh, okay, so the -7 is just immediately win, huh? Huh. You can do some real bullshit with this card, with the -2. Because you can, like, put in some cheap dirtler creatures that cost between, you know, like a lot of 3 and 4 costs. Like, a lot of mid-rangey decks can have removal and utility spells at 2. Then the creatures are in the 3 and 4 slot, and then you have Dracoseth. And that's like, you just have this crazy expensive dude. So then you can just, like, you know, play Luca and instantly get a Dracoseth out. It's interesting. Okay, so what do we think about Luca Coppercoat Outcast? Okay, in Limited, I think that this is just a 5 out of 5, obviously. Because just look at the +1 and the -7. I don't even need to analyze the -2. Just +1 and -7. You +1, find some creatures, and you can cast them. +1 again, find some creatures, you can cast them. You're exiling the top 3 cards and then casting creatures from there. It's great. And you're drawing a card at the start of your turn. And then you can -7 and just blow up your opponent. In Constructed, I actually still think that this card is quite good. I don't know where it fits in. I don't know how it fits. The reason I'm taking a moment to think is, like, what is a creature-heavy deck with red that could take advantage of the +1? What does that look like? Alternatively, you could maybe have, like, the -2. You could have only 7, 8, and 9 mana creatures, and then have, like, this card to summon 0 mana tokens. And then you -2 on a token to get your huge shit out. You know, something like that might work. I don't know. I certainly don't know. So maybe like a thicker Gruul deck? I don't know. I have no idea in Constructed. I'll call it a 5. Hooray! Go, Luca! I have no idea how you work. Yeah! 5. When in doubt, this is the best card that's ever been printed. Momentum Rumbler. 3 and a red. Whenever Momentum Rumbler attacks, if it doesn't have First Strike, put a First Strike counter on it. Whenever Momentum Rumbler attacks, if it has First Strike, it gains Double Strike until end of turn. Oh my god. So it upgrades to First Strike on the first attack, and it upgrades to Double Strike on the second attack. It's okay. It seems like 3 out of 5. Seems like a 3 out of 5 card to me in Limited. It's like, you know, alright. I mean, it's getting First Strike, but it's 3 power, so... yeah, so I'd give it a 3 out of 5. 0 out of 5 Constructed. I would never run this in Constructed because it's a creature that is, Get out of here. Mythos of Vadrok. 2 and a pair of reds. It deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. Fuck yes. If white-blue was spent to cast a spell, until your next turn, those permanents can't attack or block, and their activated abilities can't be activated. Wow. So limited, this is just an obvious 5. Obvious, because you deal 5 damage to a creature for 4. Perfect. If the board is clogged, you can maybe cast it for the Jeskai colors and ping 5 things and they can't block, and you blast through. Is this good in Jeskai Fires? I think it's not even necessary, right? Because you're getting a lot of haste flyers and haste tramplers. So you don't really... Rarely in Jeskai Fires are you saying something like, damn, my opponent had too many blockers and that's why I lost. It's normally like, damn, I didn't draw some of my juicy stuff. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm reading with Mythos of Vadrok. Deal 5 damage divided among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. That feels nice. It feels very nice. It feels a little redundant with Storm's Wrath, doesn't it? Feels a little redundant with Storm's Wrath. One out of 5 constructed, 5 out of 5 limited. Final answer. Porcuparrot. Oh my god. 3 in a red for a 3/4. Oh. This creature deals X damage to any target where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. People are going to actually get pissed off about Porcuparrots? Wow. I'm going to say 5 out of 5 limited, because obviously if you mutate something twice, you can just be dealing 2 damage like crazy. 3/4 for 4 is a good stat line. Mutating for 3 feels good. I might actually say it seems that it can be good in Constructed too. I think this is because once upon a time there was a combo where there was a card that dealt 1 damage to any target and it had flash haste. You just tapped it to deal the damage, and there was a way to give it death touch. So you would just play that and like kill everything. So I feel like there might be a weird way to like get this down on like a death toucher and then just like tap and kill stuff, tap and kill stuff. So you can give it a death touch counter, or you can just mutate a death toucher. Yeah, I think this does have some constructed merit. Does have some constructed merit. Does indeed do. Prickly Marmoset. Oh my gosh, you guys. 2 in a red. A 2/3 first striker. Whenever you cycle a card, Prickly Marmoset gets +2/+0 till end of turn. 2 3s for 3 is just like you'll fill up your draft deck with some of those. But the fact that you can cycle at instant speed and this has first strike can actually make it quite dope. I think that this card is quite good. I'd maybe even get a 4 out of 5. I'm really excited about this one. I'm really excited. 0 out of 5 constructed. Never in a million years. No. Pyra-sera, 3 in a red. A 2/3 trampler, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a whole freaking counter on Pyra-sera tops. Whoa! Whoa! For the sake of constructed, I gotta give it a 0. I gotta give it a big 0 because it's 4 mana. I think the only way you can make a Pyra-sera taps work in constructed is in an Izzet counter ultra heavy deck. Yeah, so I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe in constructed, it's a 0 out of 5 always, and maybe in limited, it's like a 2 out of 5 at best, maybe. Yeah, it's so hard to do much. I mean, no. Unclear Nuclear says Ikoria is basically almost not playable and constructed. That's very sad. Do not be confused, Unclear Nuclear. Do not be thinking that somehow there are not enough playables. For 3 reasons. First big reason. Wizards of the Coast deliberately designs cards to work in limited and cards to work in constructed. And there tends to be, just in terms of numbers, a skew towards the limited. Because you have to open up packs. Okay, you have to open up packs. And you have mostly commons, some uncommons, and a rare. So then they actually need to make you feel like you can make some cool stuff in there. So there is generally a low percentage of cards. Second, even with a small number of the overall percentage, maybe let's say 20% of the cards show up in standard, that actually winds up feeling huge. It completely revolutionizes everything because suddenly decks that didn't used to be played are being played. So old, unplayable garbage cards that you haven't thought of in a year are suddenly in top tier decks because they have support. So even the ones that we're looking at that might feel irrelevant right now can get activated later, which is really exciting. And third, and most importantly for Ikoria, there are a lot of gold cards, as in multicolor cards, and they are fucking out of control. So just wait. We're going to be having a lot of 5s raining down. Can we get some 5s and chat a little day 5? Yeah. This card definitely sucks a fat one, though. Raking Claws. 1 in a red. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn, cycling 2. Woo! Woo! Oh, Bad Manner was like, you say 5, I'll raise you 10 with the 10 gifties. Thanks, Bad Manner. It's awfully good manner of you to do. Raking Claws, 1 in a red. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. 4 out of 5 card in limited because it's a combat trick. You can first strike kill. You can also double strike double strike kill. Or you can just double strike a large creature to finish a turn sooner than you thought you would, and you can cycle if you have too many tricks. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5 in limited, 0 out of 5 constructed. Not even remotely close to being good. Reptilian Reflection, 2 in a red. Whenever you cycle a card, you may have Reptilian Reflection become a 5/4 dinosaur creature with trample and haste in addition to its other types until end of turn. Rat. Okay, so in constructed, I would give this like a 1 or a 2. So think for a moment about Gideon, who comes down as a 4/4 creature when it's your turn, and he reverts back to a planeswalker when it's not your turn. It's a way to avoid sweepers. If you have a bunch of stuff down, and then your opponent plays a sweeper, Reptilian Reflection is an enchantment. They can't get it. And then you can turn into a creature and haste and trample in and then have it come back. Feels still very marginal in Constructed. I would heartily give this a 1 out of 5, because I can envision situations in which it could do something tight, but like I'd rather just have a creature. Is it good in limited? I don't think so. I don't know. 1 out of 5 limited, 1 out of 5 constructed. This card's weird. I really struggle to evaluate these weird cards. I mean, if there's like an understated, overcosted garbage boy, I love just fist pumping a 1 out of 5, yeeting that straight onto the internet and moving on like I'm a smart man. I don't really know what to do with this one. Rooting Moloch. 4 red lizard. When Rooting Moloch enters the battlefield, exile target card with a cycling ability from your graveyard. Till the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Huh. That's a fantastic card. That's truly fantastic. In limited, I would give it a 4 out of 5 in limited. It's not a bomb in limited, but you know, it's a 4/4 for 5. You can play it, and then the next turn you can like play it again. By the way, I just want to note, this says until the end of your next turn, not until end of this turn. So if you could play this on turn 5, spend all your mana, exile a thing, and then you can cast the card that you cycled on the following turn when you have that mana untapped. Sweet art. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 in limited. In constructed, I'd give it a 0. I mean, this is just a limited card. It's a 0. It's a limited card. Yeah, DM Kane's like the until the end of your next turn has caught me off guard so many times, because that has increasingly felt like a red mechanic. Exile something until the end of the next turn and then do stuff. And I think it's a really positive mechanic. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But God, the number of times that I've misread like Tectonic Giant and Light Up the Stage and all these other ones. Rumbling Rock Slide, 3 in a red. Rumbling Rock Slide deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. Oh, that's fun. This is a good card in limited because it... I gotta stop doing that. This is going to deal 4 damage a lot of the time, but it can deal like 6-7 damage. So, kill a big thing. We have a lot of damage. It's great. It's fine. It's all excellent. Let's not forget this guy. Where is it? Remember this one? If non-combat damage would be dealt to Stormwild Caprador, prevent and put +1/+1 counters. You just do land-based damage and then it becomes big. Sometimes the size of my brain startles even me. Damn it. Was close. Sanctuary Smasher. Oh my god, it's a 6/4 first striker. For 6, when you cycle, put a first strike counter target creature you control. 5 out of 5 in limited, 5 out of 5 in limited, 5 out of 5 in limited, 5 out of 5 in limited. 5 out of 5 in limited. I love it, 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 I love it. It's probably not actually a 5 out of 5. It's probably actually more like a 4 out of 5. But look at this. You can at instant speed cycle something in order to redraw and then give first strike to a dude, and then you can kill like a combat trick, but you've also redrawn. This is going to get cycled for 2 a lot. Excuse me, cycled for 3 a lot, and it's still really great. I'd give this a 5 out of 5 in limited. What do we give it in constructed? Shredded Sails, 1 in a red. Destroy an artifact, or deal 4 damage to target creature with flying. I think 0 in constructed, 1 in limited. The ability to shoot down flyers, maybe this is more like a 2 in limited. The ability to shoot down flyers is actually quite important in limited. Things like Plummet is valuable to have like 1 of in the main, being willing to put in another 1. Shredded Sails, having cycling allows you to put it into the main board, which is very nice. Yeah. Fraggy says, Day 9. Sorry to interrupt, Day Sir, but how far in are you? I'm late, I apologize. You are the most polite person that has ever entered the internet. Fraggy, that's... Oh my gosh, he's... Wow. Goodness, I've never seen such manners. Well, no problem at all. Welcome, have a seat. We're 4 hours, 12 minutes, and 27 seconds in right now. We've done all of white, blue, black, and we're nearly done with red. We have green, gold, and artifacts to go. Spell Eater Wolverine, 2 in a red. Spell Eater Wolverine has double strike as long as there are 3 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Holy shit. 4 in limited. The stats are a little weak, but I mean, a 3/2 for 3 is fine and gets double strike. Not first strike, double strike. 3 is kind of a lot. 3 is kind of a lot, but with the amount of cycling, it feels more possible. This feels really good. This feels really good. I love this. Constructive now, 0 out of 5. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Tentative Connection. 3 in a red. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with menace. Gain control of target creature till end of turn and tap that creature, gains haste till end of turn. Wow. You know, the good old snatch for a turn has always felt good. This is a 23rd card in limited. Like the final card you'll put in as a little finisher-oni would be this kind of thing. So I'd give it like... I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 in limited. Let me explain what I mean by that. Normally, I give 2 out of 5 in limited to things like a 2/2 with some upside for 2 mana. Or a 2/2 with a hat. This is the sort of card that you put in, and right when you're like, oh, I don't know if I can win, you top deck Tentative Connection, take control of something for the turn, and swing in. So it feels like it wins a lot, but unless you're in that situation, it just languishes in your hand. So I like to put this as a 2 out of 5. It's like a 23rd card where you can really punch someone in the face. It's kind of like Cosmotronic Wave. Cosmotronic Wave is only good if you have successfully built the board. So 2 out of 5. Uh-oh, Unpredictable Cyclone. It's got a lot of text. It might be my guy. 3 and 2 red. If a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card. Instead, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Okay. So, in other words, if I cycle a creature, I then exile stuff from the top of my library until I hit a creature, and then I can cast it. Then I put all the ones I exiled back on the bottom. Shares a card type. Card types in this game are instant, sorcery, artifact, enchantment, planeswalker, creature, help, land? Tribal? Wait, no. Tribal? What's tribal? What's tribal? Their respective tribe? Wait. I think tribal is an old mechanic. Yeah, so for instance, if something is a dinosaur, dinosaur is not a card type. That is a creature type. That is a creature type. So dinosaur, deer, all this stuff. Yeah, no, so I actually did have it. So the creature types are, the card types are instant sorcery, enchantment, artifact, planeswalker, creature, land. Instant sorcery, enchantment, artifact, creature, planeswalker, land. Saga's not a card type. Saga is a subtype. Sagas are enchantments. Yeah. That is 7. Yeah, but for any of you who don't know, we call in Magic, this creature is Wolverine. Colloquially speaking, we say Wolverine is the creature type, and if I have lots of Wolverines, I'm doing a Wolverine tribal. That's how we colloquially refer to that. In addition to that colloquial terminology, there once upon a time, way in the history of Magic, apparently there was a type of card called a tribal card, which we never think about ever again. Is my understanding. Planeswalkers are their own type. That's correct. I did list that. Instant sorceries, enchantment, artifact, creature, planeswalker, land. Okay, so in other words, when this is until you exile a card that shares a card type with a cycled card. So if I cycle an instant, I look till I find an instant. If I exile a sorcery, I look till I find a sorcery. Okay. I wanted to clarify that because there's a lot of hardcore, long-term Magic players here who are like, well, tribal technically is a card type, and if you're a newer player, or hell, if you're someone like me who's been playing for a long time that still has never heard of the tribal card type, you might think tribal means cat, dog, wolverine, bird, goat, stuff like that. Okay. Weaponize the monsters. Sacrifice creature. Weaponize... Oh, yeah, I didn't even rate this. 3 out of 5 limited, because if you cast this, it hasn't done anything. Boo. But then if you start to cycle stuff, you can get more value. Yay! Wah! Rah. No! 1 out of 5. Sorry. 1 out of 5. Inconstructed. 5 out of 5. Sean Plott will be running this. 5 out of 5 for Unpredictable Cyclone. Weaponize the monsters. Sack a creature. Weaponize the monsters. Deals 2 damage to any target. What? Huh. 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 There has to be something that this does. This has to be something. Sorry, cat. Didn't mean to startle you. Oh my god, are we sunbathing so hard right now? My cat is absolutely a pineapple upside down cat. It's amazing. 2 mana to sacrifice a creature is way too expensive for standard, I think. Way too expensive for standard, I think. That doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel like it's good. But the ability to deal 2 damage to any target feels like there's got to be something. So I'm going to give it a 1. It's Siege Gang Commander, though. Here's how I will say it's not Siege Gang Commander. Siege Gang Commander was a 5 mana 2/2 that summoned 3 1/1s. That's a lot of stats for a card. That then you can additionally, once you have already satisfied the I have 5 mana now, do some more pings for some benefit. This doesn't have any of the bodies associated. So that makes me very like, ugh. I'd give it a 1 out of 5 in constructed because I think there's got to be something here. And I'd give it a 1 out of 5 in limited because there's probably weird ways to ping-a-roni in the pepperoni. I give it some 1 and 1s. I mean, you might be able to build something around this one and summon a whole lot of little tiny guys. This just seems so expensive for standard. It doesn't look good. It looks pretty bad. No, 0 out of 5 constructed. Take that, everyone trying to concoct ways to do it. Ah, yes, Yadaro, Wandering Monster. 5, 1 red, and 1 additional red for an 8/8 with Trample Haste. When you cycle Yadaro, Wandering Monster, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you've cycled a card named Yadaro, Wandering Monster 4 or more times this game, put it onto the battlefield from your graveyard instead. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, yes. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a good card. 5 out of 5 in both constructed and limited. The reason why I find this to be so strong in constructed is that at end of turn, I can cycle it for a 4th time, and it just enters the battlefield, and it cannot be countered at all. Cycling is not a spell. So it can't be countered, can't be interacted with in the traditional way of counter spells. So you can just like cycle, and boom, shoot on out. And you still do get the card draw when you cycle it. So cycle is you discard this card and you draw a card. So first you cycle it, and then you sort of draw and when the cycle effect resolves. That's when you have cycled, is after you have drawn the card. I can't remember if it's cycling officially resolves once the draw is on the stack or once it's off. I don't remember. But I believe that it... Okay, so you pay the cost, and the cost is spend some mana and discard the card. So you pay it. So then on the stack goes draw a card, because you've cycled it now. So then when that resolves, you get to draw a card. I don't know when the cycling is completed. I don't know if cycling is upon payment or upon resolution of the thing on the stack. So it's after draw. Excuse me. Yeah, so you could cycle, you draw the card, it's now in the graveyard. Okay, some people are saying before the draw, some people are saying after the draw. Let's see. Is cycling completed before the draw or after the draw? This is just like very technical rule stuff. Oh god, let me put MTG. It says do this before you draw. Oh, it says right there. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so in this sense, it means that when you pay the cycling cost and discard the card, two things happen. One of the things is that the draw effect is going to go on the stack. But the other thing that happens is that you have now completed cycling. So the order is make the payment and discard the thing. You've now completed cycling. And now, boom, the effect goes on the stack. So the result of having cycled is to put it on the stack. Now, the reason I'm going into this really, really hardcore is that there's a lot of things in Magic the Gathering which secretly has like 6 steps in it. But conceptually, you just think about it as like one step. You know what I mean? Kind of like if you're playing on Magic the Gathering Arena, when it's your turn, you just draw your card and all your mana untaps and all that stuff. But technically, the order of the start of your turn is untap, upkeep, draw. So I'm just trying to understand the precise ordering of things. So either way, when you cycle Yadaro, Wandering Monster, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. When you've cycled a card, name Yadaro, Wandering Monster 4 more times, put it out. Yeah, so you... How many Yadaros do you put in the deck? Do 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Now, here's why you put 4 Yadaros in. If you get to 4 and then you cast a Yadaro, boom, it cracks in there, right? Let's say your opponent kills it. Then later on you find another Yadaro and you cycle it. Boom, it comes out and you cracks you in the face. You can just keep resummoning Yadaros. It's amazing. This is insane. I love it. 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Trample haste is just, I love those keywords. Okay. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. It's time for green. You know what that means. It means I need to use the restroom. Because every 2 blocks, we takey a breaky. So when we come back, we're going to do green and then the rest of the set. It's currently 5:30. We'll probably be going to around 8 tonight because I have a lot of cards left to review. We've currently done 139 of them. And there's so many gold cards. Oh, yeah. Oh, BRBRB.